Another day, another drive. This time to Geese Arms South again. The main purpose really was to test Kurt's new truck. He exchanged a 3-liter Nissan for a 4.2 coil-sprung Ute and transferred all his stuff over, and today really was a day to test out how his car goes. Geese Arms South is a moderately difficult track, but the advantage really is that you have quite a few lines to choose for the most obstacles, so you can go from mild to reasonably wild. As a minimum, I would recommend at least 32-inch tires, ideally with an aggressive AT or mud terrain thread pattern, double locked, and some bar work which will help to prevent any panel damage. We have a mixed variety of trucks today. John in his Hilux, myself in Tiny, Steve in shorty Hilux, then Kurt in his new Patrol, and Adrian in his long wheelbase Hilux.
Like that. See how they out the front? Yeah. Hey, where's your bloody front lockers?
They're on.
On.
They are on.
Really?
Not engaging, are they?
Doesn't look like it. Go again.
You got air lockers or what?
No, e-lockers.
E-lockers? What's better, it wasn't in the groove.
Yeah. What? Forward, forward, forward. Like most obstacles on Geese Arms South, this is another very wheelbase dependent obstacle. John is tackling it in a slight side angle, so that one wheel at a time climbs a step, and the wheelbase does make a little bit less of a difference really. I'm using the same approach here, and instead of 4 wheels spinning on the double step, 1 wheel at a time in the front and in the rear is climbing that steps, and that makes it much easier. Just keep in mind, when you use this approach, you need to do that slow and controlled, because you have a greater chance of slipping, and if you slip down on a side angle, you have a bigger chance of rolling. Kurty is back in his 4.2 Patrol Ute, coil sprung front and rear. Adrian is only on 31-inch tires. Beautiful. Where's he going? Nah. This is an interesting line. If you get it right, no issue, but if you place one wheel wrong and you end up in that V-shaped rock, you can be there for a little bit because it takes time to get out. doesn't come across that well on video, but that's actually a fairly tricky line with a huge gap between their two rocks. I first played a bit around on the left, but couldn't get the truck up there. And yeah, now trying a slightly different approach here on an angle, and that worked quite well actually.
Too late. That's it.
Adrian appeared to have some issues with his front e-locker. It didn't seem to engage all the time. The small tires on that big rock steps added to the difficulty for Adrian, that's for sure.
No idea what people did here.
Turning circle of Tiny is not the greatest. I just couldn't get that tight turn in there I needed, so I needed to reverse back and readjust slightly.
You are perfect.
Adrian thought to give the harder line a go and see how he goes, but that didn't work out too well with its small tires, so he also took them the track to the left. John is first to tackle Toolbox Hill, the last big obstacle really before the lookout on Geese Arm South. With the right line, that can be pretty much crawled when it's dry. John was pretty much on the right line, but the rear pushed him slightly to the right, and there is quite a big V-shape where he dropped in with the front wheel. In the most cases we try to avoid any unnecessary wheel spin, but especially on rocks you sometimes just need to spin gently and give the tires a chance to grip, as we can see here quite well.
Same line though.
Right to me, right to me.
Beautiful. That's it. Nice.
Wait.
Easy. That locker is definitely not working.
The final obstacle before the lookout, again very wheelbase dependent, and if you pick a good line there, it's an easy drive. If you pick a wrong line, you can spend a fair bit of time there.
Off the rock. Beautiful.
You're out, I just ready.
Don't break your legs. Okay, straighten up, straighten up, straighten up. That's it.
Hello, Captain Nissan has returned.
Tried a slightly different line here, trying to climb that steep part of the rock face, but really set with my rear then on that big rock there, so needed to reverse, realign and miss that rock.
Beautiful.
My way. Keep going. Keep the fire going. There's no blockers there.
Back locker not working.
Adrian is as always game to try nearly everything. However, with the lockers not reliably working and no reduction gearing in the transfer case, makes it very difficult in a manual vehicle to transfer the power properly. And unfortunately, if you do it with speed, that's when things break.
You're gonna have to get a winch out.
So we're here at Adrian's garage. Here's the boss.
Howdy doody. Just a little interruption between cups of tea.
Is it service or
This is just
unscheduled service?
this is scheduled service
Yes.
on a Hilux.
Tail shaft repair, good.
You know, we're just making sure the tail shaft is wound up nicely.
Yeah.
After Adrian removed the rear tail shaft, the winch came out, and with a little bit assistance from winching and then a little tow from Kurt, we got Adrian safely back on the road and he drove home in two-wheel drive.